Change of basis of the U.S. Democratic Party reveals the common attributes of the left. Dowry's Reasoning, Episode 2. Today we will analyze a bias left over from American history. The Democratic Party represents the interests of the general public, and its political stance is left, while the Republican Party represents the interests of the rich and powerful, and its political stance is right. For many years, this has been a commonplace view and self-evident truth in the American political ecology. From the 1950s to the 1990s, Republicans won the support of a majority of the wealthy and the highly educated, while Democrats won votes from lower income and less educated segments of the population. However, everything is changing. Since the end of the last century, the Democratic Party began to win more and more support among the wealthy and upper middle class. The obvious sign is that among the top one-third in terms of wealth, the numbers of supporters of Republican and the Democratic Party have evened out. Especially among the top 5% and 1% of income earners, Democrats have now surpassed Republicans. The Nation magazine recently reported that 65% of tax-paying households with an annual income of more than $500,000 are now located in Democratic districts. On the other hand, 74% of households in Republican districts only have an annual income of less than $100,000. In addition, the Americans in all 10 richest congressional districts are represented by Democrats in Congress. These numbers come from the IRS and Bloomberg, not conservative media, so you cannot regard them as some conspiracy theory. Historically, the Democratic Party's old enemies were big oil and big tobacco. For years, Koch brothers have been Democrats' number one target for supporting Republicans. However, with the changes in the economic structure brought about by emerging technologies, a large number of new super-rich figures such as Amazon's Bezos, Facebook's Zuckerberg, Apple's Cook, and Microsoft founder Bill Gates have emerged. How many of them support the Republican Party? Tesla's Elon Musk is a rare exception. Partisan conflicts in the United States are always class-based, or have a class element in it. The racial issue is a smokescreen put up by the left, a clumsy move that ignores history and facts. Biden has repeatedly declared that the main internal threat to the United States is so-called white supremacy, and Pelosi took the lead in kneeling in Congress during the Black Lives Matter riots. They do this to attack the conservative base, which is mostly blue-collar white people. The Democratic Party keeps saying it is against racism. But what do their policy bring to the black people? Have they improved the educational standards and employment skills of the blacks? Have they ensured the safety of black residential areas? Except for a few black people who have entered the middle-class circle, most blacks are still trapped in poverty. This is caused by the Democratic Party's welfare policy. What does it have to do with the attitude of most white people? In human history, slavery was not invented by the white people. What is special and commendable about the United States is that white people abolished slavery through war at the cost of their own lives. A century and a half later, black people now not only enjoy equal rights, but also receive special treatment almost everywhere. There is no reason for them to harbor resentment against any ethnic group. As for the very small number of political hustlers among the black people, they are afraid if the world is not chaotic enough, they will not be able to play race card to profit from it. Although this is despicable, but logically it is still understandable. As to Biden and Pelosi, two old white people with rich life experience choose to slander their own race and kneel down before black extremists for political gains. Do they still have any sense of shame? However, the racist cover-up cannot last long after all. In the 2020 election, 65% of Hispanic voters supported Biden. But a recent USA Today poll showed that Hispanic voters' support for Biden has dropped to 34%, lower than Trump's 39%. According to a report by the Associated Press in January, about 86% of black people supported Biden in July 2021, but by the end of December 2023, this number had dropped to 50%. To borrow a political term from the Communist Party of China, the eyes of the masses are sharp. The essence of the problem is still class differences. The elites of the Democratic Party look down on their blue-collar compatriots. Soldiers, policemen, firefighters, truck drivers, in short, all the ordinary people who made daily life run normally are not worthy of their respect and attention. Hillary said in 2016 that the main supporters of the Republican Party are a basket of deplorable and irredeemable people. Current Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said of the National Democratic Election Strategy in 2016. He said, "For every blue-collar Democrat we lost in Western Pennsylvania, we elected two moderate Republicans in the suburbs of Philadelphia." In the 2019 Democratic presidential primary, then-candidate Biden told a group of donors that if he were elected president, nobody's standard of living would change. Nothing would change. In November 2021, the Build Back Better bill passed by the Democratic-controlled House included tax cuts for the wealthiest Americans. The party that formerly represented the working class has undergone a programmatic and structural changes. Sanders has twice participated in the presidential elections, But the traditional left, which he represents in the Democratic Party, is gradually dying. Finally, it comes down to the central topic of this article: the commonalities of various extreme leftists in the world. The Chinese Communist Party came to power on the slogan of representing workers and the peasants. After taking power for more than 2 decades, the people were still in dire straits, and the fate of farmers was particularly miserable. However, the CCP's powerful elites enjoy unimaginable luxury and privileges. The Democratic Party in the US claims to be for the poor and discriminated minorities, but it only uses them politically and ignores their daily lives and vital interests. When the left went to the extreme, the unthinkable happened. To the general public, the left has become the right in the traditional sense. There is a Chinese maxim: when things go to extreme, they will turn around to the opposite direction. The difference is that the traditional rightists still retain some gentlemanly demeanor and tolerance, and maintain some common sense. The hypocrisy, deception, and arrogance of the left often make it more unbearable. The American left's stance on gender and race issues is so absurd that communists can only lament their incapability to match. The current complete loss of control of the border of the United States and the Great Famine in the 1960 China have one thing in common: they are both catastrophic failure of the left-wing governments, which arises from a blatant disregard for the interests of the people. If the far left in the United States is allowed to continue to wreak havoc, it may only be a matter of time before the United States turns into a Marxist-style totalitarian state. This program does not post any ads. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and giving it a thumb up.